Imagine this. You're sitting at a table, laughing so hard your stomach hurts. Around you are people who know your childhood fears, your current chaos, your secret dreams, and they love you anyway. There's no performance, no competition, no walking on eggshells, just ease, just warmth, just home. Now here's the twist. None of these people are related to you. They're your friendship family, the people you choose to be your inner circle when biology alone isn't enough. In a world where loneliness is called an epidemic, this idea isn't just cute, it's survival. Some of us grew up without safe family. Some of us moved away. Some of us simply outgrew old dynamics that kept us small. Over the next 15 minutes, I want to show you how to build a friendship family that feels like home, who they are, how to find them, and how to keep those connections strong for life. Let's get clear on what a friendship family actually is. It's not a replacement for your relatives. It's not a cult, a clique, or a constant group chat that never lets you breathe. A friendship family is the small circle of people who know your real story, not just your highlight reel. Cheer for your growth, even when it means you change. Show up when life gets heavy, not just when it's fun. In this video, we'll break it down into practical steps. How to recognize people with family potential. How to deepen friendships without forcing intensity. How to build trust, set boundaries, and repair after conflict. How to create rituals and traditions that make these bonds feel solid. This isn't about suddenly having 10 new best friends by Friday. It's about being intentional, slowly curating the people who feel like home, and learning how to be that kind of person for them too. Before you can build a friendship family, you need to know why you want one and what's been missing. Maybe you grew up in a chaotic home where love felt conditional. Maybe your parents loved you but didn't see you. Maybe you've moved cities so many times that every goodbye made you trust people a little less. Take a moment and ask yourself, when have I felt the most deeply supported by people? When have I felt completely alone, even around others? What did I need in those moments that I didn't get? Your answers are clues. If you never had anyone show up to your games, you might crave friends who celebrate your wins. If your feelings were always minimized, you may long for friends who really listen. Knowing your own story helps you avoid two traps: expecting new friends to heal all old wounds, or repeating unhealthy patterns because they're familiar, not because they're good for you. So who actually belongs in your friendship family? Not everyone who's nice to you, and not everyone you've known the longest. Look for 3 qualities. 1. Consistency. They don't disappear when you're not fun or convenient. They follow up, keep their word, and repair if they mess up. 2. Emotional safety. You can tell them bad news without worrying they'll judge, fix, or make it about themselves. Your nervous system relaxes around them. 3. Mutual investment. They care about your life and let you into theirs. The energy isn't one-sided. Sometimes these people are already near you: a colleague, a neighbor, someone you see at the gym or church or book club. Sometimes you'll have to go looking. The goal isn't to find perfect people. It's to notice who feels healthier than what you're used to, and who shows up with kindness and effort over time, not just charm at the beginning. If your current life doesn't naturally bring new people in, you might think, there's just no one out there. Usually that's not true. It just means you're not crossing paths with them. To expand your circle, try interest-based spaces rather than random socializing. Join a weekly class, volunteer, attend a local meetup, or join an online community that regularly meets on video. In these spaces, don't aim for instant best friends. Aim for making small, repeated interactions. Sit near the same people. Learn their names. Ask one thoughtful question each time. You're planting seeds, not demanding a forest. Also, audit your environment. Are you spending all your time alone after work? Only online? Only with coworkers you don't actually like? Sometimes building a friendship family means gently disrupting your routine so new people can actually find you. Remember, opportunities often look ordinary. The classmate who stays late, the quiet volunteer who always says hi, the neighbor walking their dog at the same time every day. Once you've met people with potential, the question becomes, how do you go deeper without making it weird or intense too fast? Think in terms of layers. Layer 1, light connection, small talk, shared jokes. How's your week going? Layer 2, personal details, sharing hobbies, family background, current goals. Layer 3, vulnerability, fears, failures, doubts, and the stuff you don't post online. You don't jump from layer 1 to 3 in a single conversation. Instead, you gently offer pieces of yourself and watch how they respond. Example: I've actually been pretty stressed about money lately, trying to figure things out. Do they dismiss it, change the subject, or respond with curiosity and care? Depth should feel like a mutual staircase, not you emotionally free-falling while they stay on the ground floor. When it's right, you'll notice a gradual click, shared language, inside jokes, comfort in silence, and the sense that you can bring more of your real self each time. No real friendship family exists without trust. And trust is built in small, boring moments more than dramatic declarations. Here's what builds trust. Follow through. If you say, "I'll text you later," actually text. Confidentiality. When someone shares something vulnerable, you treat it like it's precious, not content. Reliability under stress. When things get awkward or hard, you stay engaged instead of ghosting. Here's what quietly breaks trust. Chronic lateness without acknowledgement. Sharing stories that aren't yours to tell. Using sarcasm as a weapon, then saying, "Relax, it was a joke." In a friendship family, people should feel like, if I tell you the messy version of my life, you won't use it against me later. You don't have to be flawless, just honest. When you mess up, name it. I'm sorry I disappeared when you needed me. You mattered, I got overwhelmed. Can we talk about how to do this better next time? Healthy boundaries might sound like the opposite of family, but they're actually what make a friendship family safe instead of suffocating. Boundaries sound like, I love you, but I can't talk every day. Weekly check-ins work better for me. I'm here for you, but tonight I need sleep. Can we talk tomorrow morning? I care about you, and that joke actually hurt. Can we not go there? Without boundaries, resentment builds. One person feels drained, the other feels rejected, and everything gets tense and confusing. In a real friendship family, people respect your limits because they want you to stay, not burn out. And you respect theirs, even when your anxiety whispers that distance means they don't care. Practice stating small boundaries calmly, without over-explaining. The right people might need a moment to adjust, but they'll stay. The wrong people will make your boundary the villain. That's information, not a failure. Even the healthiest friendship family will have conflict. The goal isn't to avoid it, it's to navigate it without destroying the bond. When something feels off, try this framework. 1. Name your feeling, not their character. I felt hurt when you canceled last minute, instead of, you're so selfish. 2. Be specific. Describe the situation, not every issue you've ever had with them. 3. Stay curious. Ask, can you tell me what was going on for you? And actually listen. On the other side, when someone brings a concern to you, resist the urge to defend or flip it. Don't. Well, you did that to me last month. Do. I get why that hurt. I wasn't thinking about how it landed. Here's what was happening for me. Repair doesn't mean pretending it never happened. It means making sense of it together, adjusting behavior, and proving over time that the relationship can hold friction without cracking. A true friendship family doesn't just share memes and weekend plans. They share the heavy stuff. anxiety, depression, burnout, grief. You are not your friend's therapist, but you can be a lifeline. When someone opens up about their mental health, validate first. That sounds really hard. I'm glad you told me. Ask what they need. Do you want advice, distraction, or just a listener? Encourage support. Have you thought about talking to a therapist or doctor too? I can help you look if you want. Pay attention to warning signs, talk of hopelessness, self-harm, or wanting to disappear. In those moments, safety comes before comfort. Depending on the situation, that might mean staying with them, contacting a trusted person in their life, or reaching out to services in your country. You deserve friends who take your pain seriously, and they deserve someone who doesn't vanish when things get complicated. What makes a friendship family feel like family instead of just a group chat? Often, it's art, rituals, and traditions, small repeated moments that become our thing. These don't have to be elaborate. Monthly life update dinners where everyone shares one win and one struggle. Annual found family holiday for people who can't or don't want to go home. Sunday evening video call for friends scattered across cities or countries. Rituals create rhythm. They tell your nervous system, connection is coming. I'm not alone. You can be the one to start them. Hey, what if we did a standing Thursday night check-in? No pressure, whoever can make it joins. Over time, these moments become anchor points in everyone's calendar and memory. Years from now, you might not recall specific conversations, but you'll remember the feeling of always having a place to show up, exactly as you are. A friendship family thrives when everyone is ball growing, not when everyone is staying exactly the same to keep each other comfortable. Supportive growth looks like celebrating when someone sets a boundary that scares them, encouraging therapy, education, career changes, or creative risks, allowing people to change opinions without punishing them for not being who they used to be. Sometimes growth creates tension. Maybe one friend gets sober, starts healing, or becomes a parent. The dynamic will shift, and that's okay. The question is, can the relationship adapt? Instead of saying, you've changed, try, you're changing, and I want to understand who you're becoming. Instead of silently drifting, initiate new ways to stay connected that fit this season of life. Your friendship family is not a museum. It's a living ecosystem. Everything stays healthier when each person is allowed and encouraged to evolve. Not everyone in your life needs or deserves a front row seat. Part of building a strong friendship family is what editing your cast over time. There are 3 groups. 1. Inner circle. People who know your deepest truths. 2. Middle circle. Good friends you care for, but with less daily access. 3. Outer circle. Acquaintances and casual connections. Problems start when we hand inner circle access to outer circle people, then wonder why our life feels chaotic. It's okay and healthy to gently downgrade relationships that are chronically draining, disrespectful, or one-sided. That doesn't require a dramatic breakup speech. Sometimes it's simply less access, slower replies, fewer personal details. This makes space, emotionally and practically, for the people who consistently show up with love, honesty, and effort. Your friendship family will likely be small. That's not a failure. That's the point. Depth thrives in smaller rooms. Let's pull this together. A friendship family is the group of people you choose to be your emotional home. They aren't perfect, and neither are you. But together, you commit to showing up, being honest, and growing. We talked about understanding your story so you know what you're truly seeking. Spotting people with family potential, consistent, emotionally safe, mutually invested. Creating opportunities to meet new people and deepen bonds layer by layer. Building trust through small actions and protecting it with clear boundaries. Navigating conflict and mental health struggles without abandoning each other. Creating rituals and embracing growth so your relationships stay alive. Curating who gets inner circle access and allowing your cast to shift over time. You don't need a perfect past, a big social life, or a huge friend group. You need a few people willing to build something real with you, slowly, on purpose. Now it's your turn to build or deepen your friendship family. This week, try 3 simple actions. 1. Reach out to one person who already feels safe and say something specific you appreciate about them. 2. Plant a seed with someone new. Ask a slightly deeper question or suggest grabbing coffee after that class or meetup. 3. Create a tiny ritual. Propose a recurring check-in, a monthly dinner, or even a shared playlist that you update together. If this video gave you language for what you've been craving, share it with someone who might be part of your chosen family. Talk about it together. Use it as a starting point for honest conversations about what you both need. And if you want more content on building real connection, emotional skills, and healthy relationships, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss future videos. You deserve a circle where you're known, wanted, and safe. Let's build that on purpose.